He's here. The cheers were deafening. She deliberately turned her head to dodge his lips, feigning shyness, while her nails dug red marks into the back of his hand. Elias forced calm, but out of the corner of his eye, he saw the hashtag ICO cheats skyrocketing on his phone screen. The Petrov family's clarification statement hit like a slap in the face. He thought he controlled both his secret lover and his business empire, never realizing the socialite beside him was merely a pawn. Meanwhile, his wife Sophia, far away in Newport Beach, was using a screenshot of a frozen bank account to shatter all his illusions. Elias Walker's thumb caressed the rose gold cufflinks on his suit sleeve repeatedly. Sophia had bought them for him at the Geneva Watch Fair last year, smiling and saying, "They'll go perfectly with your custom shirts." The spotlights at Staples Center were too bright, stinging the corners of his eyes. Christina beside him swayed gently to the melody of Yellow, and as her chestnut hair brushed against her bare shoulders, he smelled an unfamiliar citrus perfume. Not the one she'd claimed last week was meant to complement your cologne. "Are you sure no one will recognize us?" Christina suddenly leaned close to his ear, her voice laced with champagne and a hint of panic. Elias felt her pinky hook onto his belt buckle, her nails unconsciously pinching his waist. His Adam's apple bobbed as he glanced at the press area at the back of the audience. Tech journalists from across Los Angeles swarmed the interview aisle, their cameras fixed on the stage. Who'd notice ordinary audience members? No sooner had he spoken than the big screen suddenly cut to their section, a pink heart frame clamping down on them like a shackle. "Oh, looks like we have a shy couple here." Chris Martin's voice boomed through the speakers, and the laughter of 80,000 people surged like a tide. Elias froze. On the 50-foot-tall screen, his face twisted in shock, while Christina's nails had dug deep into his palm. She'd never squeezed that hard before. Suddenly, a clatter came from the back row. Christina jolted backward, knocking over a girl's soda. The dark liquid streamed down the girl's jeans. "Oh my God." Christina's lips trembled, her carefully lined lipstick smudging down her chin. As she fumbled for tissues, Elias felt the wedding ring in his inner suit pocket. He'd deliberately taken it off his ring finger before leaving home that morning. Now the metal band pressed painfully against his palm, like a red-hot coal. "He's here. He's here." The cheers grew louder. Cold sweat broke out on Elias's neck, his custom shirt sticking to his back. He saw at least 20 phones filming them, their flashlights blinking like interrogation spotlights, dazzling him. Christina suddenly grabbed his tie and yanked it down, her nails almost piercing his skin. "Play along," she whispered urgently. Yet at the last second, she turned her head to avoid his lips. The fake move drew even louder boos. Elias smelled the hotel shampoo residue in her hair. They'd used the same brand at the Beverly Hills Hotel 3 days earlier, but now the scent was tinged with tremors. He suddenly remembered the half-hidden plane ticket in her bag that morning, the destination scribbled out with lipstick. "Let's give them a break." Chris Martin laughed, diffusing the tension as the cameras finally panned away. Elias pulled out his phone, and the lock screen lit up with a photo of Sophia holding their twins, taken after the Silicon Valley Charity Gala last week, when he'd wrapped his arm around her waist and told reporters, "My family is my strongest support." Christina was frantically refreshing Twitter, the blue glow of her screen illuminating her ashen face. "People have already screenshotted it," she said, shoving her phone at him. The hashtag #ICOcheats hashtag was climbing rapidly. In the photos, his panicked expression and Christina's slipping strap were crystal clear. Comments tagged Walker Tech's official account, and others mentioned the Boston Petrov family. "You told me you were separated this week." Christina's voice sharpened suddenly, her nude-painted fingers jabbing at the screen. "This comment says you were showing off your marriage at the Silicon Valley Charity Gala last week." Her fingertips trembled. Elias suddenly noticed the necklace she was wearing, a Van Cleef and Arpels Clover pendant, identical to Sophia's. He'd bought it with the secretary's secondary card just last week, and the receipt was still in his inner pocket. Elias grabbed her wrist, his thumb brushing the bruise on her skin. She'd claimed it was from a clumsy fall, but now it looked more like a pinch mark. "Calm down. My lawyer will issue a statement tomorrow." His words were cut off by his phone ringing. The name Sophia blazed on the screen like a needle, and Christina's breath caught in her throat. The girl's exclamation came from the back row. "Look, isn't that the youngest daughter of the Boston Petrovs?" Her friend zoomed in on a photo, swiping across the screen. "Wait, the Petrovs only have 2 sons, right? I met their heir at a Harvard Business School cocktail party last year." Christina's mascara ran like dark clouds, black streaks streaming down her cheeks. She suddenly stood up and pushed through the crowd, the stiletto of her high heel getting stuck in the floorboard. She didn't stop even when the heel snapped off. As Elias pushed his way out, he only caught a glimpse of her golden hair disappearing through the emergency exit, and the silk scarf she dropped on her seat. It was Chanel, embroidered with a C on the edge, the same style he'd bought for Sophia, just a brighter color. The big screen switched to Fix You, and the audience held up their phones, the lights resembling countless judging eyes. Elias felt the second button of his shirt come loose. Christina had torn it off in her panic, the loose thread scratching his chest. His phone vibrated constantly, notifications pouring in from the board of directors group chat. He opened it, and Andrew Miller's message sliced through his vision. Emergency board meeting recommended immediately. Stock price has dropped 7%, and the tech team has detected massive sell-offs. Sir, a janitor tapped his Oxford shoe with a mop, the plastic head brushing his trouser leg. You're blocking the aisle. Elias finally realized the entire audience was standing and singing, while he stood frozen in the corridor like a statue, his shadow stretched long and distorted across the floor. His phone vibrated again. A text from his personal lawyer, Mark. Don't answer any calls, especially your wife's. I'm working on a crisis PR draft. Christina's scarf was tangled around his wristwatch, the Chanel logo glinting coldly under the glow of glow sticks. A Twitter notification exploded on his screen. Hashtag Petrov family statement, followed by a blood-red breaking tag. He opened the image. Boston's oldest Russian-American aristocratic family had issued a statement in legal prose. The Petrov family has no connection whatsoever to Christina Smith. All previous online rumors are false, and the family reserves the right to pursue legal action. Smith. Elias heard his teeth chatter. He suddenly remembered the business card Christina had handed him when they first met. It had read Christina Petrov, with the title Harvard Business School Visiting Researcher. Two college students in the back row were filming him, their phone lenses almost touching his nose. Did you really forge an employee file for your lover? Our school's forum says her current HR director position is based on fake credentials. His phone vibrated again. This time it was Emma, the company's PR director, her voice trembling with tears. TMZ reporters are blocking the front parking lot. They have photos of Christina working as a cocktail waitress in Las Vegas 3 years ago, wearing a uniform with Vegas Nights printed on it. In the background, he heard keyboard clacking and muted voices. Oh my God. Kate Zhang just published a long article on Medium with bank statement screenshots. She says you embezzled company funds to buy Christina an apartment in Beverly Hills. As Elias loosened his tie, a mother-of-pearl button snapped off, rolling onto the floor and getting crushed under a spectator's shoe, the shards embedding themselves in his soul. He remembered Sophia had bought this tie for him in Paris last year, saying, the mother-of-pearl buttons complement your skin tone. An Instagram notification popped up. Sophia had posted a photo 5 minutes earlier. The twins were building a sandcastle on Newport Beach, and she stood beside them smiling, her wedding ring gone. The caption read, on days of ridding pests, the sun always shines. Among the likes was Kate Zhang's username. Her profile picture a graduation photo with Sophia at Wellesley College, both grinning and holding their diplomas. Mr. Walker, a security guard in a neon vest, pushed through the crowd, his walkie-talkie crackling at his waist. Reporters have snuck into the intervenue. We recommend you leave through the VIP exit. Before he could finish, a blogger holding an entertainment scoop sign rushed up, shoving a microphone almost into Elias's face. Did your wife just freeze your joint account? Rumor has it your private Swiss accounts have also been frozen. Is that true? The big screen suddenly cut back to the stage, and Chris Martin sat at the piano, singing The Scientist. Amid the gentle melody, Elias remembered boasting at last year's company annual dinner. Algorithms can predict all variables. There's no situation I can't control. The sour taste of whiskey surged in his stomach, burning his throat. He pulled a voice recorder from his inner pocket. He'd brought it to the board meeting last week to record evidence of Andrew's scheming, but now he suddenly wanted to capture his own humiliation. He pressed record, and his heavy, ragged breathing filled the device. Somehow, Christina's lipstick had ended up in his pocket. The metal tube was engraved with "To the Real Petrova," which now seemed like a cruel joke. He twisted off the cap to check the shade, only to find a tiny memory card hidden at the bottom, still sticky with glue, clearly inserted later. Another Twitter notification popped up, hashtag Walker Texito Whistleblow's, followed by a flaming emoji. Andrew had posted a long article, stating, I have submitted evidence of Elias embezzling R&D funds to the SEC, including payment records for the yacht he bought Christina. Elias's fingers slipped on the memory card. He suddenly recalled Christina's strange behavior in the office last week. She'd been deleting files on her computer, slamming the screen shut when she saw him, claiming she was organizing employee attendance records. His phone vibrated for the third time, an unknown number sending a multimedia message. When he opened it, he almost dropped the phone. Christina was wearing the suit she'd worn to her HR interview, the background lounge of his office. She sat on the sofa, holding his coffee mug. The date in the corner showed 3 months earlier, the same week he claimed to be meeting investors in Tokyo. There were 7 more photos, taken from different angles. The last one was a bank transfer screenshot, with a note reading, Thank you for your $820,000 donation to the Petrova Foundation. Sincerely, Kate Zhang. Elias's temples throbbed. He finally understood. Kate Zhang's expose hadn't been accidental. She'd been watching him from the start. The audience suddenly erupted in cheers as pink balloons rained down, landing on his head and shoulders. Amid the deafening chorus, Elias heard his phone ring. The caller ID read, Silicon Valley Bank Risk Control. He answered, his fingers shaking violently. The armpits of his shirt were soaked dark gray, clinging to his skin with a cold dampness. Based on the notarized documents provided by Ms. Vanderhoff, the voice on the other end was as cold as a machine. All pledged shares under your name have been temporarily frozen, including the portion you transferred to Smith Investment Company yesterday. The sound of a printer whirred in the background. Ms. Vanderhoff has also submitted evidence of your embezzlement. We are cooperating with the SEC investigation. Elias knocked over a nearby popcorn bucket, caramel-covered crumbs sticking to his trousers. He saw his pale face reflected at the edge of the big screen, crushed like a soda can. As the intro to Viva la Vida began, a terrible realization hit him. Before Christina disappeared, she made a strange gesture toward the emergency exit, her index and middle fingers pressed together, her ring and pinky curled down, forming a V. He trembled as he opened his phone's photo album, zooming in on a photo from last week's charity gala. In the background, a waiter holding a champagne glass had a profile that looked eerily like Andrew's. At the time, he'd thought he was imagining it. Mr. Walker? The security guard's call seemed to come from far away. Elias suddenly grabbed the man's neon vest, his nails digging into the fabric. Check the surveillance. Which way did that blonde woman go? Where does the emergency exit lead? Before he could finish, his phone vibrated again, cutting him off. Sophia had sent a text with just one screenshot. A bank transfer record, the note reading, down payment for Petrova apartment, recovery of marital joint property. The pink balloons hit his shoulders, soft yet surprisingly heavy. Elias stumbled as he dialed Mark's number, and the lawyer answered immediately, his voice exhausted. Don't speak. Listen carefully. Sophia applied for an emergency asset freeze 2 hours ago, using the priority clause in the Vanderhoff family trust. Your father-in-law's trust stipulates that if a family member is involved in economic crimes, assets can be frozen unilaterally. No signature required from you. That's impossible. Elias's nails dug into his palm, drawing blood. I never heard of this clause. There's a lot you didn't know. Mark's voice sounded like it had been rubbed with sandpaper. Your father-in-law's legal team is already filing documents with the court. They also have solid evidence that Christina forged her academic credentials. She never attended Harvard Business School. She only studied at a Boston community college for 6 months. The big screen suddenly switched to an audience interaction segment. A girl wearing a baseball cap held up her phone and screamed at him. It's him. My cousin interns at Walker Tech and says that HR director isn't a Boston socialite at all. She can't even use advanced Excel functions. Elias felt liquid sliding down his temple. It was the sweat from earlier. He touched the memory card in his pocket, suddenly wanting to insert it into his phone to see what was on it. But his fingers wouldn't obey. The sound of camera shutters clicked behind him as a TMZ reporter's microphone jabbed at his chin. Do you know the name Christina used in Las Vegas? Sources say she went by Chrissy and scammed tips from customers. His phone suddenly played a voice message, Sophia's calm voice echoing through the empty parking lot. Elias, given your repeated violations of Clause 3 of our prenuptial agreement, prohibiting the use of marital joint property for non-family expenses, I have entrusted Sullivan and Cromwell with divorce proceedings. The sound of a printer hummed in the background. By the way, the apartment you gave Christina is in your name, making it marital joint property. I have the right to recover it. The roar of engines came from a distance. Elias saw paparazzi vans turning the corner, their headlights blinding him. He climbed into the waiting Mercedes, and, as he settled into his seat, he found a court summons on the leather upholstery, the bright red, emergency injunction seal covering half his name. As the driver started the car, he felt the wedding ring in his inner pocket and tried to slip it back onto his ring finger, but his hands trembled so violently he dropped it 3 times before it fell into the gap between the seats. Take me to the airport directly, Elias told the driver, frantically refreshing the company intranet. A board voting interface popped up suddenly. Andrew's motion to suspend the CEO had already received 62% of the votes, with 3 directors still undecided. The latest comment was a public statement from the CTO. As a co-founder, I cannot tolerate company funds being used for personal pleasure. All authorizations related to the CEO have been suspended. Rain began to beat against the car windows, making a clattering sound. Elias inserted Christina's memory card into his phone, and a video file popped up. In it, Christina smiled at the camera, her makeup flawless. Dear investors, the Petrova Foundation looks forward to cooperating with you. We are dedicated to supporting women entrepreneurs, The filming angle suggested someone was behind the camera, and the sound of a lighter clicking in the background was familiar, like the Dunhill lighter Andrew always used. The car radio suddenly cut to financial news. Walker Tech stock price plummeted, triggering a circuit breaker with a 15% drop. It is reported that the Vanderhoff family has acquired a 15% stake through over-the-counter trading, becoming the company's second-largest shareholder. Elias tore off his tie and wrapped it around his shaking hands. The mother-of-pearl buttons were long gone, leaving only the bare fabric. In a rearview mirror, his eyes were bloodshot, the dark circles under them as black as ink. Billboards flashed by on the airport highway. A newly installed LED screen suddenly played an interview with Sophia. She sat in her office at Vanderhoff Tower, wearing a sleek white suit, with floor-to-ceiling windows behind her. "Women should not pay for their partner's deception," she said, looking directly at the camera. Her ring finger bore only a faint tan line where her wedding ring had been. Sometimes the best algorithm is honesty. Honesty with yourself and with others. Elias touched the passport in his inner pocket, suddenly remembering how Christina had unusually helped him pack that morning. She'd stood on her tiptoes to tuck the passport into his pocket, her fingers lingering on his chest for a few seconds, saying, "Be careful on the road." He flipped open the passport and saw a tiny pencil-drawn heart in the corner of the visa page, identical to the one she'd doodled on office sticky notes, which he'd never paid attention to at the time. The windshield wipers swept back and forth like the hands of countdown clock. The car's screen displayed Kate Zhang's latest tweet. "Some people think deleting cloud records is the end of it. Don't forget the backup server's physical address is in Boston. We already have the complete deletion logs." The accompanying photo was of a bank vault's steel door, marked with the number 1729, the house number of the old Petrov family mansion, now converted into a Vanderhoff family warehouse. Elias suddenly leaned forward and grabbed the back of the driver's seat. "Turn around. Go to the Beverly Hills Hotel." He remembered Christina had a permanent suite there. Maybe she was still there. As the tires screeched on the wet road, he opened the last file on the memory card. A selfie of Christina and Andrew kissing in the company cafe, dated the same week he'd been on a business trip to Tokyo. Andrew was wearing the Armani suit Elias had given him, a company anniversary pin on his lapel. "Boss, paparazzi are following us." The driver glanced in the rearview mirror and accelerated past the car ahead. Elias's fingers left sweat stains on the memory card as Christina's smile froze on the screen. He suddenly understood. He'd been a pawn from the very beginning. Andrew wanted the CEO position. Kate Zhang wanted to avenge Sophia, and Christina wanted money and status. Only he'd thought he was in control. His phone vibrated again, an unknown number. He answered, and Christina's voice came through, choked with sobs. "Elias, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." Andrew said if I cooperated with him, he'd give me money to leave the country. "Where's Andrew?" Elias's voice was hoarse and broken. "He's at the company, preparing for the board meeting." Christina's voice suddenly cut off, followed by chaos, then silence. Elias threw the phone onto the passenger seat, shattering the screen. He stared at the passing streetlights, remembering when he and Sophia had first been married. They'd often come to Beverly Hills, and he'd promised her, "One day, I'll get you the best suite here." Now the suite was occupied, but with another woman, and it had become the evidence that destroyed him. "Boss, we're at the police station." The driver's voice sounded as if it were underwater. Elias looked up to see two uniformed police officers standing on the steps. The younger one was checking a photo on his tablet. It was his face that he felt the crumpled plane ticket in his pocket. Christina had drawn a heart around the departure time with red nail polish that morning. Now the little heart was smudged by sweat, split in two like a crushed beetle. The glass doors of the police station reflected his distorted image, his tie hanging askew around his neck like a noose. Elias suddenly remembered writing in his diary at Stanford when he was 20, scribbling on the title page, "I want to make my name louder than Vanderhoff." Now that dream not only hadn't come true, it had become a joke. Even though the screen was shattered, the phone continued to vibrate. He pulled it out and saw a text from Sophia, containing only a photo, their wedding portrait cut in half. The half in her hand showed Kate Zhang adjusting a camera in the background. At the time, he thought Kate was just helping out. Now he knew. They'd planned it all along. The lights inside the police station were bright. Elias sat on a chair, watching as the police took his statement. The rain still fell outside. He thought of Christina's abandoned scarf, still tangled around his wristwatch, the Chanel logo glinting coldly in the light like a mocking smile. Just then, the police officer's walkie-talkie crackled to life. A voice came through. "We just received a report. A blonde woman has turned herself in at the Beverly Hills Hotel, saying she wants to expose economic crimes at Walker Tech." Elias's body suddenly went rigid. He knew the farce was finally over, and he had lost everything. 6 months later, Sophia stood in the top-floor boardroom of Vanderhoff Tower, her fingertips gliding over the financial report on her tablet. The $1.8 billion net profit glowed with a soft gold light on the screen. Kate pushed open the door, carrying 2 lattes. Hansen Pharmaceuticals just signed the renewal agreement, she said, with a special clause specifying they only recognize signatures from the Vanderhoff family. Sophia took the coffee, noticing the cherry red lipstick stain on the rim, Kate's new shade. "Where's Andrew?" He said he'd report on the VR lab's progress. "Outside." Kate shrugged and pulled up a photo on her tablet, secretly looking at Disney tickets. "He wants to take you and the kids." In the photo, Andrew sat on a sofa, holding 2 Disney tickets, a smile on his face. A stark contrast to his usual serious demeanor in board meetings, a smile tugged at Sophia's lips. She opened her phone's photo album, which was filled with pictures of the twins at a robotics competition, holding up their trophies and grinning. She suddenly remembered the note Elias had left behind. Found in Christina's bag after her arrest, it read, "The children aren't Elias's." At the time, she'd taken a paternity test, which confirmed the kids were hers. Christina had only wanted to unsettle her. By the way, Kate suddenly remembered something and pulled a memory card from her bag. "This is the one from Christina's lipstick. Besides the photos of her and Andrew, it has complete records of Elias's embezzlement. It's already been filed as evidence." Sophia took the memory card and weighed it in her hand. "Did you talk to Andrew?" "Yeah," Kate nodded. "He said after things calmed down, he's going to officially confess his feelings. He's had a crush on you for years, but never dared say anything because of Elias." Sophia's cheeks warmed slightly. She walked to the floor-to-ceiling window and looked down at the bustling city below. Sunlight streamed through the glass, warming her skin. She knew the shadows of the past were gone, and a future filled with good things awaited, with her children, with Andrew, and with everyone who truly cared about her. Just then, her phone rang. It was the orphanage. The director's voice was warm. "Ms. Sophia, the single mother skills training program you funded has been a great success. Several mothers have found jobs and asked me to thank you." Sophia smiled. "You're welcome. What matters most is giving them the ability to support themselves and their children." After hanging up, she turned to Kate. "Increased the third-quarter charity budget by 30%, with a focus on supporting single mothers and orphans." Kate saluted with an "okay" and turned to handle the request. Sophia was alone in the boardroom. She picked up her tablet and opened the video Andrew had sent of the VR lab. The twins were wearing VR headsets, exploring the stars in a virtual world. "Mommy," the twins' voices came through the video. "Come look at the stars with us." Tears filled Sophia's eyes. She knew this was the life she'd always wanted, full of love, hope, no lies, no manipulation. The sun shone brightly outside, illuminating the new ring on her finger. It wasn't a wedding ring, but a custom star-shaped design engraved with 3 names, hers and her children's. This ring was more precious than any diamond.